welcome back to La Mulana, and before we enter the ruins, time to talk to Zelpun and see what funny thing he has to talk to us about today. Our racers continue to protect the ruins, following the teachings of the four philosophers that sleep within the ruins. The four philosophers realized the mother's wish to return to the skies was not possible. Instead, they hoped to give her a peaceful death. This is the conclusion that we, the seventh children, at last settled on. It's sad, but we gotta entrust this task to you, the eighth children. Because it just goes to show that children will someday leave their parents. Your father is after a mother's crystallized spirit, the secret treasure of life. I hope that you can obtain it in your father's place. Well, that's a lot more morbid and factual than what we were expecting from Zelpun. So that's the big twist of the game, is that all this time that we've been hearing about trying to save the mother and return her to heaven, we've now been told that the plan is now to kill her. We'll be finding out more behind the reasoning of that decision when we rescue the philosophers, which we'll be doing in this part. Since they are also the seventh children, so they'll be able to fill us in a lot about the decision making. What we can gather so far is that the giants plan to send her to heaven using the Tower of the Goddess, but since we've already walked through the Tower of the Goddess, we know that that hasn't been done. Translation software has learnt 60% of the ancient characters. We only need one more of these tablets to fully understand the language. The cycle continues. The mother destroys the ill-favoured child and gives birth to a new child. She repeats this until her wish is granted, her wish being to return to the heavens. So this is the Chamber of Birth. This is the alternate side to the Chamber of Extinction, the pitch black area. The wall at which the god who sustains the world points, there lies a bright light within the darkness, a bright light that will obliterate the darkness. Oh man, that slowed down just screwed up my jump. Thanks, game. I say game, but clearly it's my computer, not the game. I'm not even going to check that tablet up there. So if you go too close to this door, it will power up a laser that will one-shot us. Thou shalt not make it with thine power, or screw you too. The tablet that I skipped above can't be read at the moment, so there's really no problem with not reading it. I just wanted to get out of that screen as soon as possible. Vishnu beheaded Ashura with a weapon like a ring of light. That indicates using the chakram. And up here, behind that break in the wall, there's a seal that unlocks this. Oh, I thought we would go beneath the bird then. Palenque slumbers inside the mule within. We've heard about that mule before. So if we destroy this, we can teleport inside this mule. A really obvious thing that for some reason took me over an hour to figure out when I was trying to solve puzzles. Because I was positive I already did it, and since there was a Eye of Retribution above it, I didn't try again. I was quite peeved when I figured that out. I don't know why I thought I could block that bird with my shield. Turns out I couldn't. Let's get out of here before we get shot by that laser. Strike the wedge, disturb the mother's slumber. Only then shall the shrine of the mother show its true form. We've been to the shrine of the mother already, but apparently that wasn't the true form of it. So if we wall kick onto the top of there, we can help bring it down easier. And now, let's activate a trap. Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna die! If we put a weight on that skeleton, we can leave. And if we return, the trap's fully set, and now we can go above it. And here, we get the woman statue. This is a usable item, a woman-shaped doll. Now if you've been paying attention to a few of the tablets we found so far, you may already know what we're going to do with this. If you don't know, I'll leave you in suspense for a short while to figure it out before I show you. It's been a while since we last talked to Morbrook, so let's talk to her. So she's telling us about the field covered in darkness. She mentions that if we solve a puzzle in the Chamber of Birth, then the Chamber of Extinction will allow us to light up the place. Good to know. So then, have you figured out the puzzle yet to do with the woman statue? This area is now filled with lights. So if we stay in here for a while with the woman statue, I'm not really sure what you need to do here. I think it's just wait, or maybe it's collect the shining lights. We'll try just staying still and using the item a few times. There we go, we got the maternity statue. So, we have just impregnated the statue of a woman with the lights inside the Temple of the Man, which is the other name for the Temple of the Sun. Yes, it is going here. This puzzle is definitely going here, and I love it. So now, let's enter the Temple of the Woman, which is the other name for the Temple of Moonlight. And you may have noticed this room the first time we went through it, and how it may look suspiciously like something, especially in the background. And there was a tablet that mentions sleeping within the woman. So if we pause the game and allow our character to sleep, we have now birthed an ocarina from our pregnant statue. Yes, that puzzle exists in this game, and I love it. It's one of the most well-known puzzles in the game because it just... Of course it's well-known, it's amazing. So now that we have the ocarina, we can now talk to the philosophers and get more of an insight into the decision. I commend you for reaching me, Chosen One. I am Elazdana, one of the 4 philosophers. I am the philosopher of death. I will reveal to you one of the mysteries of these ruins. We have long slumbered to grant the mother's wish. The mother descended to this land from the sky. We do not know from where exactly she came, but the mother wished to return home. The mother had lost her ability to move, and so gave birth to many children. This is the origin of humanity. Mankind was born to return the mother to the skies. They gained knowledge in these ruins, departed to the world outside, and searched for the means to take her back while themselves thriving. Yes, these ruins are the mother herself. It is impossible to send the mother home to the skies. If her wish cannot be granted, the best we can do is to give her eternal sleep. We're going to record that. So that is more of an explanation. Chosen One, set the mother free from her sadness. That is our only wish. So now we know why the mother can't be returned to the sky. She is La Mulana. The entirety of these ruins that we have been exploring is Mother. So since we have the ocarina now, I may as well go on there on the menu so you can see it. There we go. It belonged to the 4 philosophers. Since she is the ruins, obviously there's no way that a part of the ruins, the Temple of the Goddess, would have the power needed to be able to carry her upwards into heaven. So let's get more of an insight from this philosopher. I commend you for reaching me, Chosen One. My name is Gilterayo, one of the 4 philosophers. I am the philosopher of knowledge. The mother failed time and time again. The first children could not see for what the mother truly longed, wanting only her powers. The second children were destroyed in the civil war of the giants. The third children were only interested in their own powers. The fourth children were a race of men in the form of fish. The fifth children sought the secret of life and death, once again begetting a power-hungry race. The sixth children were dolls of clay, made of the fifth children. Alas, too many were made, igniting a war that extended all the way to the surface. After some time, we, the seventh children, were born of the earth. We came to know these ruins through and through, ultimately realizing that we would not be able to grant the mother's wish. Thus we gave no memory of a mother to Yi, the eighth child. We believed that only those who perceived the mother as ruins could truly defeat her. The mother's flesh spans the whole of these ruins. It is considered impossible to defeat her. He must attack her soul. Summon the mother's soul here and force her to take shape. The technique has been laid out for you. It is a hidden technique that we, the 7th children, created. I shall tell you how it is done. Drive the 8 wedges into the mother's body. Take the Jed pillar and Magamata jewel in hand and recite the mantra. The mantra has been inscribed onto the markers. Drive the wedges from the heels. We are definitely recording that, because that is the most important thing we have heard all day. Please, Chosen One, our wish is to set the mother free. So naturally, we had no idea what we were getting into when we started the adventure. But now we're starting to learn more and more about it. And how it was really just a big plan, so they'll be able to free the mother from being trapped on the planet. And it's our job to kill her, so, you know, go us. I thought I could one-shot that, I was wrong. I commend you for reaching me, Chosen One. My name is Samaranta, one of the 4 philosophers. I am the philosopher of power. The mother's soul sleeps within the shrine of the mother. That is where the last Ankh lies. The last red light will reveal its true form. You who have travelled through these ruins, your strength will put the mother to rest. We, the 4 philosophers, have been blocking 3 paths. My path has been opened. Seek Phobos and go to Rio for the other paths. Bye bye. So, as he mentioned, he unlocked a path for us. And in the top left corner, next to the logo of the Philosophers, there is now a stairway. Oh, no, I'm getting stuck in the wall. I'm getting stuck in the wall, game. No, get... What's happening? No, okay, we need to leave this room. I don't know what's going on. This has never happened before. There we go. Ooh, that was troubling. This is the Scales of the Heart. Those who seek power prove thy knowledge. If thy spirit is balanced and just, the power shall be granted. So this is a puzzle that you can find out the answer to by all of the tablets that mention gems in the game. But I already know what the pattern is, so I will just solve it offhand. So it's left. I did actually solve this on my own, but with that mentioned, I did use a brief walkthrough just to basically tell me what all the hints were. So after we've done that, we now do this. And that perfectly balances the weights. So there are hints that basically tell you, this is the ultimate whip by the way, flail whip. It boasts exceptional attack power. And I'll also show you another way that you need to solve a puzzle as well. So to solve that puzzle, you find all these tablets throughout the ruins that mention gemstones and mention their weight. But there's also one more thing you need to do, which is to stand on this. This is a scale, and it tells you how much we weigh, because of course we're the final thing that needs to be weighed. So now that we've done all of that, it's time for us to go and get a few more items. First off, Endless Corridor. We've already been through here, but if you recall when we first went down, there was another sign of the Philosophers. It was there. So let's enter. And we return to the Shrine of the Mother. And now we have fully translated all of the ancient characters. Look to the weapon in thy hand, the key to the awakening lies within. Look to the weapon in thy hand, the key to the awakening lies within. So here we just have to wait until we can stand on these. I could have done it on the last cycle, but I didn't want to risk it. And here we get the final seal, the Death Seal. Now there are a few things we can do with this. First off, we're going to return to the Chamber of Extinction. Because now we can activate the sigil that's down there. So to do that we need to solve this invisible wall puzzle again. As long as if you jump and move over at the same time, you can't really fail it unless you almost do like that. Nope, I failed it. I knew I would. Of course I would. This isn't really that difficult, but you know, I'm an idiot. We shouldn't need the light to solve this. I did exactly the same problem again. Trust me, this is worth it. Sort of. Kind of. Maybe not. I love how I've done it like flawlessly for ages, and then of course I just continually screw up now. There we go. And there you notice that something's just gone up in the background. It looked like a lot of lights. And if we shoot that, the lights are now permanently on in this area, which is helpful. With that said, it's time for us to actually make some progress in this episode. We can actually jump through here now that it's open for a brief shortcut. It's worth saying that if you fail that puzzle with the weights, you don't get another chance unless you load your game. But of course the game does autosave, so as long as you don't go back to the autosave location, you should be fine. I went the wrong way. I forgot that I wanted to use the Oh wait, I can't actually open it at the moment, of course, because I don't have the option. We never did buy the waterproof case. Let's get the Lamp of Time and activate it. Because you may have noticed that this weight down here gets covered by a crushing trap. So if we just spam down and then move out quickly, we can go up here. And here's a software we can't purchase because it costs too much. But at least we know it for later. That is the software that allows us to select which fairy we want to summon without fail. So that's very helpful, but you need to combine it with other software. There's a lot of button presses to get up here, but it's worth it. Oh no, I accidentally pressed. There we go. And luckily there is a lamp here that will allow us to quickly get our health back. There we go. Not health, I mean get our power back. Why did I come here too early? Oh well, I came here too early. It's fine, we'll return later once we have this save point above us to warp. Oh, of course I wasted it. Why would I not waste it? This is the land where life is born. Praise life and a large clay doll is born. A clay doll that protects the golden key. Tiamat's child will regenerate with no end as long as Tiamat's dimensional powers remain intact. Find a way to destroy the dimensional powers. So I previously entered the dimensional rift before, but like I said, it was currently blocked. So we just reuse the maternity statue there, and it allows us to clear that puzzle. So this area is a bit unique in the way that it wants you to use most of the other items you've got throughout the game. Like here, there's a picture of a snake, so we get to use the serpent staff. And up here, there is a skull. Women cultivate life. Men put their lives on the line to get women. Beyond the many corpses, a woman awaits. So we do get a couple of hints towards solving the puzzle that gave us access to the woman's statue. Be prepared for death. Women shall not yield to he who flees. Overcome with courage and wisdom. Now this is very misleading because it makes it look like you're supposed to stand under the spikes and let them crush you, and that will somehow solve the puzzle. It doesn't. It instant kills you. And I can't really blame the game for that because obviously they would kill you. So in here, we need to repeat life. So we get the maternity statue and we put it here. And then we get the dragon bone. And we put it here. And that will activate an infinity symbol. And then we use the key of eternity. I said we use the key of eternity. There we go. To activate that. So that's sort of one of those trapped treasures, but we can access them. Let's try and trigger this guy. Never mind, he's going to be a jerk. So here is the puzzle with Azura's face, where we need to hit it with a chakram, which is very difficult. There we go. That's why I bought a lot of extra chakrams, because that puzzle's annoying. Now we can go up here, because we opened it with a skull. So we don't currently have the item we need for this room yet, because I forgot to collect it. But we can access the warp point without it, so we'll quickly come back here once we've got it. The Tree of Life is the source of all life. Clay dolls become human. Behold the Chamber of Birth. This is the place where all life comes to belong. Comes to being, I think it was. So, what we're going to do now is return to the Tower of Ruin Velders. The reason we're coming here is because there is a very quick way to recharge our Lamp of Time, which we're going to need. And then we're going to go to the Tower of the Goddess, because we activated one of the previous puzzles, but we never actually completed it, because we needed the Lamp of Time, which was a puzzle in here. So first off, let's try and kill these bats, because they are going to get in our way. Man, these bats. That last battle wave is just never going to help, is it? So then, in this room, we just need to smash all of these pots at once, and the only way to do that is, of course, with the Lamp of Time. That's very tight, but with enough practice you can get it down. The hint to do that, if you remember, was up here. Here it mentioned about how he had a growing desire to keep those pots safe, basically, so we just smashed it to crush his spirit. And now we're going to return to the Tower of Ruin and recharge the lamp a second time, because we're also going to use it for the second puzzle here. Sadly we can't use it for all three puzzles, because the third puzzle, oh my, is it bad. But we'll come to that when we come to it. Come on, game. Give it to me already. There we go. We don't actually need, necessarily, the Lamp of Time for this next one, but it makes it so much easier. I really would not recommend doing this mini-boss without the Lamp of Time. Oh, we are completely out of weights, I just noticed. We'll have to go and buy some. Luckily, we don't have to use them. Actually, we do have to use them, that's a lie. We'll return for them then. There is now a mini-boss up here, which is the bird that was mentioned. So what we're going to do is wait until it gets into a good position to attack it. Or we could just fall. We could just fall. That's the thing, and that's the main reason why I want to use the Lamp of Time here, because we could do a lot of damage to him, and then we'll just fall, and it will completely reset the boss fight. As if this guy can knock you around, obviously, that's not very fun. So we're just going to stop time and attack him a load of times. There you go, he's dead. And there is one more puzzle to solve, which we could do by going over here. Actually, it's quicker to just teleport to the Gate of Illusion. Because it mentioned a lizard that doesn't like the light. And there is now a lizard here, and oh boy is this a horrible one. You see this light here? We need to get the lizard to stand in it, which of course it can't do until I actually free him, I'm an idiot. There we go. So we need the lizard to stand in that ray of light. We could be here for some time. So, how's your day? Firstly, I've just been playing this non-stop. I enjoy it. Oh my god, he actually killed himself within a reasonable amount of time. I am impressed. Now then, first off, we're going to go and buy a lot more weights because we need them. We're just going to buy them all. There we go. And then we're going to go and get all the money. All the money. You think we're not going to get all the money? I'm telling you, it's all the money in the game. I don't have to show myself doing this, I could just do it off screen. But it doesn't take very long, and I want to see you just notice exactly how much money we get. By the way, it's just max money, which is 9999. Oh, we got an item fairy the first time. Amazing. Let's return to the Chamber of Extinction, to our money area. We came here earlier, but now we have even more stuff. So now that we can destroy these pots in one hit, and our attack speed is quicker, we can smash these pots really quickly. And we can rack up loads of cash. Now, like I mentioned the previous time, warning for motion sickness here, you might not want to stare at the screen while I do this. And again, you don't want to stare at the screen in general. Staring at the screen is not a good idea. Look at the screen, don't stare at it, you'll hurt your eyes. Luckily though, the lights will never go out because we activated the main light source. So we're just going to keep doing this until we have 999 coins or the fairy disappears. But I think with the speed at which we're doing this, we should be able to max out our cash. And at the same time, we have maxed out our weights, so we're doing good. Of course, we're going to spend all of our money buying all the software now, but, you know, you win some, you lose some. And when it comes to money, we lose it all. This part is very mindless, so just happy green fairy, I guess. So I guess we may as well talk about what we're doing next. So, since we've solved the puzzles in the Gate of Illusion, we're now going to return there, and we're going to collect the treasure that creates life. Not the treasure of life, that's a different treasure. This one is one that creates additional life. From the stray fairy that we met in the previous part. I would not recommend getting money any other way in this game. This is just too good. Oh, she faded just before we maxed our money. That's a shame. So now let's return to the overworld. Because we want to buy the remaining treasures here, which is the waterproof case and the pistol. So let's have a look at our inventory. We've got every weapon, the only one remaining is the Ankh to summon a boss with. We're only missing a few usable items and we're missing 3 treasures. Oh, and I'm just double checking. Yes, I know what all 3 of those treasures are, so we haven't missed anything in the game, which is great. So time for us to go and get some of those treasures, I think. Wait, we don't have that many bombs, do we? We're not going to risk it. We're going to first go to the Tower of Ruin and buy some more bombs. That should be enough. We shouldn't need to buy any more. How's our time doing? We should be fine to collect this treasure. Because the next part probably isn't going to be that long. There are only actually 2 more parts to this Let's Play. We still have to kill Tiamat, which is the final guardian, after we finish off Palenque, which means we have to fully clear out that dimensional corridor rift place. And then all that's left is the Mother. So in this room, we came here previously but we couldn't do anything. Now we can use bombs to knock this down onto the pedestal. The Guardians protect something else. There will be a wedge there. 8 wedges will give form to the soul. And in here we can buy the most useful item in the entire game. Scriptures. No, I'm not buying anything else. Scriptures is not a mandatory item, but it means that bats can no longer hurt us. Thus, it is a mandatory item. It is a mandatory item. I will not accept any other. So now it's time for us to really start to make some progress. So we're going to return first to the Gate of Illusion. We actually can't get any more items in the game at this point until we start to go further. So there's nothing else to return to. We've collected everything with no need to backtrack anymore. So since we've solved those 3 puzzles, we can unlock the seal that's keeping the fairy here. Thank you, guest. My job here is finished. This place gave birth to evil life under orders of the 4 philosophers. When it begins to move again, life shall be taken from the mother. Go now, use the cog of the soul, or go ahead of you to the heavens. We have the cog of the soul. And if we use it on this pedestal, we activate the clay dolls that were mentioned previously. There they come. So since we now have this, it's time for us to head back to the Chamber of Birth and use it. So we use it there, which starts to move her. Ooh, I'm so glad I didn't crush them from that knockback. We use it a second time behind that statue, and then we can make more progress. So while we're here, we can attack this wall from the other side. It will allow us to get to the cursed treasure. I may as well avoid wasting the weight and just come up here naturally. So if you want to know how to get back down from here, you just fall like that. So woe unto you if you were like me the first time and decided to randomly go that direction first and have to run all the way back. And this is actually a door. And this guy is the one who stole the Ankh Jewel from us. You know, that treasure chest that we weren't able to get after we killed Vi. So he sells us the Ankh Jewel. And now it's time for us to collect this treasure that's down here. Remember to equip the Mulana talisman. And now we have the dimensional key. This is a relic made of a strange material. With this, the powers of the twisted dimension no longer work. That basically means that we're allowed to now make progress when we go to Tiamat's domain, which is the next area. And now if we jump through this wall, we can access a new area. Did I remember to I didn't recharge my lamp. This is bad. You know what, with this we'll fight the mini-boss first, but I am positive I'm going to need the lamp. Because this mini-boss has a lot of health and he does a lot of damage. Of course I haven't unlocked him yet. I'm good at this game. There's a way to unlock him, which I will now show you. Aren't I a good person? Aren't I a good Let's Player showing you all these things? It wasn't me making a mistake. The Crystal Skull suppresses Tiamat's power. So then, do we still have the notes? I don't believe we do. Never mind. But there was a message that we found that showed the Dance of Life, and we need to now perform that. So the Dance of Life is left 3 times, right 3 times, and a swing. What we're going to do now, before we actually continue, is we're quickly going to go to the Tower Room and recharge our lamp. Because I do not want to take on the next mini-boss without much health, or without the lamp. He basically just does a load of contact damage, and that's his main gimmick. You know what, while we're down here, I may as well show you one of the other things we need to do as well. Too quick for the eyes, that which continues to move even after time has stopped. Defeat the unseen enemy, and the elixir of life shall be bestowed upon thee. So that was something that we couldn't read earlier, but of course we can read it now, because we fully translated the software. So while we're in here, you may notice that there are occasionally things that jump across the screen, and one of them just hit us then. If we slow time, we can see these things. Oh, come on, game. Get game. Thanks, game. What you're supposed to do is kill 2 of them while the time is stopped. Do you know what didn't happen? None of them appeared in places where I could hurt them. That was handy. I'm sure glad that happened. Let's try it again. Sometimes this game just really wants me not to play it. Right, second time's the charm. Let's slow time immediately. Okay, that one's out of range. This one we can reach. There we go. Come on, get closer. There we go. So now this will open up. And it will close on us, but that doesn't matter because we can just walk straight back up. Right, now it's time for us to finally go to the Chamber of Birth, properly this time. And it's time for us to take on the mini-boss that's been summoned because we did the Dance of Life, which was left swing 3 times, right swing 3 times, and a jump. I equipped the sword, but I'm pretty sure you don't need a sword. It's just that it had a sword in the picture, so, you know, it felt like it was the right thing to do. So you may have noticed there's actually only one more passive item in the entire game. It's an optional one, and it's in this area, so we'll be getting it later. I believe it's in the other area though, so we'll need to enter it from the other side. Those alphas just take way too many hits. And the mini-boss should now be summoned. There we go. It's just a giant one of these golems. Looks kind of like the ones from Final Fantasy IX. Except for, obviously, it has legs. As you can see, he has loads of HP. There you go, he's finally dead. So he will just continually run in a really over-dramatic fashion. And there we get the Pikachu key, I don't know how to say it, which is another usable item. There's only 3 more of those left in the game now. We're coming close to the end. Deep within the large wall, Palenque sleeps. Take the golden key in hand. Challenge Palenque. And now we can actually enter the other area, the ruins. So we can actually solve that mini puzzle I mentioned. At least I think it was up here anyway. We'll find out temporarily. If we don't get knocked down when we're trying to kill something. Skeletons, they're annoying. And that is what this item will help us with. I should really equip the shield so I can actually go up against those things. Right, so here, you may notice in the top left of the screen, it looks like there's a piece of platform above that big block that can be trodden on. And we can't go up there. Have you guessed the solution to this puzzle yet? We just have to wait. There we go, that was actually quite quick. For one of those guys to walk on it and trigger it for us. And here we get the perfume, the final item of the game. Well, passive item anyway. And this will allow us to kill skeletons with 1 hit. Sadly it doesn't make us invincible to skeletons, but at least we can kill them quicker now. So we've almost solved this entire area. All that really remains is for us to summon the boss. But first off we need to actually get it available. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with this mural. We might discover what that is later. And when I say we might, I mean we will, definitely. Ah, I thought it was over here. I was mistaken. Maybe it's in the area that's to the left of us. It's in one of these areas we need to go to, and I've suddenly forgotten which one it is. While we're here, let's recharge our energy. We've almost leveled up, which will be useful to fight the boss with. Here it is. So this is the small mural that was mentioned. We use the key. And now we've activated the large mural. So now we need to head back to the Inferno Cavern. Because if you remember, there's another way to get down into that area from the Inferno Cavern. There we go, and we're fully healed. Perfect, it's just in time for a boss fight. So by falling down the pit that became available when we beat Vi, we can re-enter the area where the boss fight is, which is the other side of this mural that we opened up previously. And that activates the boss fight. There's the Ankh. So, let's fight Palenque. It's a important that we use the item for a second time here because it's the engine to this vehicle. So if we're going to attack this guy with weapons, we need to use a lower hitting weapon like the samurai sword. Because as you see there, we just took a lot of contact damage. We can't afford to take any contact damage from this guy. And he's dead! Woo! We're the best! Oh. And we got a game over. Yep, that boss does a suicide attack when he dies. So, let's go kill him again. Of course, we need to actually fully replenish our health again. Of course, this is when the enemies don't drop anything. Oh, come on, game. Don't be mean. There we go. So, let's fight Palenque for a second time. I felt like showing that death. There are other deaths in the game that I haven't showed that are basically just getting crushed by traps and stuff, but those are really obvious. But that one I thought, yeah, it's so obvious and it's going to kill you the first time you play the game that it's worth showing. Luckily, Palenque is a very easy fight, as long as if you don't take contact damage. So remember, we need to use the key a second time once the vehicle becomes controllable, otherwise we'll just lose the fight immediately. I'm going to actually leave these laser things alive. They do so little damage and they can actually stop me taking contact damage if I get lucky and get hit by them just before the enemy runs into me. That was a little bit badly timed there. There we go. And this time, let's hit him. There we go. And this time he explodes on the machine instead. That was the ancient Mayan airship thing that was seen in the Gate of Guidance on that mural depiction that confused Lamisa. Congratulations, you obliterated Palenque, but the adventure continues. And then, smacked in the face by a statue. Story of our life. So we've been going a good amount of time, and we've collected everything in the game now, for the most part. I believe we have fully solved everything, and all that remains for us... Oh yes, of course. I was thinking, we don't have enough health. I'll tell you why we don't have enough health. Because we still need to go to the Shrine of the Mother. But we'll be doing that in the next part, when we take on both the Shrine of the Mother, finishing the final few puzzles there, as well as... Actually, I'm going to check if it's currently available now. Because there's a little bit of extra deep lore that we can grab, if it's available. But we may need to unlock the final Philosopher first. Either way, we will be able to get another health up from this location, since we now have a death ring. Is this path opened? No. Okay, we have to come back here later, sadly. There's one more Philosopher we haven't met yet, and he is inside. Here's the final Sacred Orb. Well, there's one more in the Dimensional Rift place, which is also where the final Philosopher is. So with that said, that's us fully done for now. One thing we haven't done is bought the additional software that's been in some of the shops, but we didn't have enough coins for them. I'm just going to do that off screen because I've already shown where those shops are, and collect all the software that we're missing that we can currently get. There is one piece though that we can get now, with the double jump ability. So we're going to hang on for one more minute as we go to the waterfall. And yes, there is an extra additional secret executable file as well, and we'll be finding that soon in the next part actually. Of course we get hit by a bird. It wouldn't be a proper Let's Play unless we get hit by everything. Thanks for buying La Mulana by Nagaro. Having fun exploring? Seeing as you made it all the way to this secret spot, have a look at this! It's one of our most treasured games, Makuri Master. Makuri Master. Enjoy and keep playing Nagaro games. I will. So we should be left with just about 1 or 2 extra executable files that we haven't been able to get yet, and the others will go and buy off screen. So until next time, be lovely to each other.